I stay in Mumbai and I'm currently working at JP Morgan. And just to give you a quick introduction, I did my engineering in information technology and graduated in 2012 from Father Admits College, Bandra. And immediately straight after college, I joined JP Morgan as an application developer, and I'm currently working there for last almost 2.5 years. And apart from that, I took GRE last year in September 2014, and I started preparing just 3 to 4 months before my GRE. And I guess that is enough for the introduction now, so that I can talk more about specific questions when Sunil asks me and all of you will ask me. Sure.
All right. Okay. That's a brief introduction about Pranav. So now let us look at the agenda for today's session. First, we will talk about the entire idea of post-graduation, and very important aspect that we will touch here is how to balance work and GRE preparation, which is very important, especially if I'm working. These days I get to see a lot of students saying I am very busy, I don't have time. If that is what students are saying, I can imagine the plight of working professionals, because me being a working professional, I can very much relate to that. So that is also very important talking points today. And like you know, the earlier slides, it says he got admits from 5 universities, and he will also give a light on, you know, how to look at the universities and why, what were his choice of universities and why. And last but very important is his GRE preparation. So now first let us look at you know, very first idea of why MS. Pranav, it would be great if you can just tell us, why did you choose to do MS? You are comfortably placed in a very good company, and in one of our earlier conversations, you told that you went to on-sites to Europe and other places. So I presume job was good, and you are you were thoroughly enjoying the job, but still you did your MS.
Yes.
So why MS?
Yeah. Sure. First of all, right from the undergraduation days, right from my college days, I was always keen on doing my masters. Although I did not think during my college days, I mean, in which field to pursue the masters, but then I was at least keen about doing some masters. And then finally, when I joined JP Morgan as an application developer in the technology branch, that's where I actually realized that, okay, I want to stick to technology because I enjoyed working in the technology department as such. So I currently work in the investment banking branch of JP Morgan, and I actually am an application developer on few trading platforms. So that gave me a big advantage because I got to learn a lot about technology in the finance industry, as well as I also got to learn a lot about business concepts like how the financial markets work, etc. So actually, so that was a good experience for me to actually learn both the sides, the technical side as well as the functional side of any business. And that's where actually, while working as an application developer, I got opportunities to work across all the levels of SDLC, which is the software development life cycle. So I ended up doing all sorts of tasks like business analysis, requirements gathering, creating documents, designing of a program, coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance. So that gave me a holistic view of what the technology world is really about. Although it's a minuscule of what is completely out there, but at least it gave me some sense. And that's when I realized that, okay, I should probably stick to technology, and that's what I'm good at. So that's how actually I realized that, okay, I should do MS and pursue something in technology and not go to something that's like MBA or maybe some other like CFA or other things. And why I chose to do MS, the other reason is US, I mean, you all know US is the best destination for doing MS, especially if you want to pursue something in technology like computer science or electronics, even I guess mechanical to some extent, all those. fields are really green in US. And the best universities, of course, are also there in US. So I chose to do MS because I finally realized that, okay, I should do MS from US. That's the story how I chose to do MS.
Okay, thanks for that insight, Pranav. When you said you got to know, things with larger clarity at workplace, it actually is true indeed. What we learn at workplace is so much. So
Yeah,
that can,
exactly.
yeah, that can,
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'd just like to share a
yeah, yeah,
personal
please,
anecdote, I would say. So,
yeah,
when I was in college, I mean, most of my friends with me, they were just following the crowd, or basically the fad. Okay, I just want to go to US, that's why I'll take MS. I hate engineering, I do this, I want to do MBA, do that. But I never rushed into those things. I realized that, okay, after doing job for like 2 years, then probably I'll get some experience, and then I'll probably better understand how actually an industry works. I mean, especially a particular department, and then that will help you realize what your core interests are, and that's how you can actually make a better decision, I feel.
okay, yeah. Thanks for that details, Pranav. So your conceptual understanding of why MS and why MS after work is will really give clarity to many other students. Uh,
Yes.
so what were your
But
yeah, what were your field of choices,
sure.
Pranav? Because right now the opportunities, the sheer number of opportunities are huge, and at one point of time it appeared like students will get benefited, but very soon it so happened the students are actually confused what course to choose from and what courses to opt for. And given the fact that number of courses in United States are much in number,
Yeah.
students will definitely have some difficulty in figuring out what to follow or what course to choose up. So it would be great if you can just share what is your field of choice and what advice would you give for other students when it comes to selecting a
Yes.
field.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll just start with my personal experience. I honestly did not know much about which course to study before taking up GRE, as in I did not know what specialization to take up or which field I would like, whether I should do MIS or CS. I did not even know that. I just knew, okay, I love technology. Let me just take up GRE now, and later on I'll focus on getting into specializations once I know about them a lot better. So um, so I took up GRE, and then I applied to both MIS and CS. But then in the meanwhile, while I was working, I realized, okay, I love development. I love coding more because that's what I realized my passion is about. Um, I started actually liking cloud computing and parallel computing concepts to some extent because I started working on them in a very what you can say in a very superficial manner, but I did not get into the depth of those concepts. So I feel that parallel computing, cloud computing, and all those similar fields are my interest, but I still haven't actually zeroed in on them because I feel after actually going to the university when I interact more with other computer science students, the graduates, and the faculty, of course, the professors there, I'll be able to make a better decision. Because, of course, uh, choosing a specialization would be something you would like to do from your second semester or third semester onwards. Because at least in the first and second semester, you would like to focus more on the core subjects of your field. So one suggestion which I would like to give all of you is don't worry about uh, the specialization or the course that you want to take up. If you know already and if you feel that you're passionate about it, then that's the best thing that can happen to you. But most of the students, like me, are very confused as to what specialization or what to take up. So So don't worry, just feel free to take GRE, and whenever you feel you're ready, whenever you'll slowly understand what your passion is once you start maybe working. And then the other, if you don't want to work, and if you directly join, if you directly want to do MS immediately after college, um, you should actually look at what the coursework is. That will give you a good idea about what the course will actually consist of. You can actually go through the syllabus of each university and find out what interests you. You can Google, you can attend some seminars, you can take up courses online like Coursera, and just attend one or two. You'll at least understand whether you like that subject or not. And that's how you can actually build your interest. That's how you'll actually realize yourself, okay, this is what interests me. So don't worry about the field so early, I would say. If you know, then it's great, but you really don't have to worry about it now.
What you're saying is very right. So if I have to say it in very simple terminology, uh, uh, assuming you're completing your MS from a reputed university, irrespective of where you want to land after your MS, you might actually meet some professors, people in industry, people in college, in close to 100 and 200 in numbers, right? So at some point of time, you will get a clarity what you want to do and where you want to land. Maybe it's not necessary that you should land in a university with 100% clarity. Maybe you're going there to get 100% clarity, right? In what you want to do in life. Am I right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, I even remember my professor telling in my very young days, you are not going to college with clarity. You are going to college to get clarity. So always having that open mind to follow is always good. And Pranav, there's a question from a student like, is machine learning and data mining technology are similar to cloud computing and parallel computing? There's a question from
Um,
Ms. Nandita, that is machine learning and
yeah,
data mining technology are similar to parallel computing?
yeah, they are not exactly similar, I would say, but when used in tandem with cloud computing and parallel computing, actually all those fields actually work hand in hand, and that's how you create some great solutions, some great systems. So I would say data mining coupled with parallel computing, because data mining will require um, a lot of resources to actually get the right information from loads of data, and that's where parallel computing can help you do all the number crunching, all the computations, because parallel computing will actually build more efficient computers to mine through the data and get the right information. So uh, I wouldn't say they're similar, but they are somewhat related. And in fact, most of these various fields in computer science, they all work with each other to create something fantastic.
Okay, thank you for that insight, Pranav. And there are two more questions from students. You should you should you should be able to answer them, because they are too similar. There are also similar questions like what Ms. Nandita have asked. Why did you
So
choose cloud computing was the first question, and some
yeah,
students want to know what is parallel computing actually. So if you can just tell them that.
okay, sure. Okay, so I'll start with why I chose cloud computing. Um, Cloud computing is one of the, I guess, one of the greenest fields in computer science right now. So, and most of the industries are actually moving their systems to cloud. Cloud, in simple sense, means internet. So basically, cloud computing is all about how you can provide your software or basically services to your clients or any user at a much cheaper, much efficient, and in a faster way. So all that can be done through cloud computing. So you see something like Dropbox, you see something like Microsoft Azure, or even to some extent, I guess, just take, for example, Google Drive for that example. So we use that Google Drive, even the iCloud. If you are Apple users, you would realize what cloud computing is about. So they provide you a platform which will be accessible from almost any device, and you just pay for their service, and everything will be just kept in sync. So it's just that you are providing a flawless solution to a client. And I think the cloud computing involves so many different concepts like distributed systems, networking, and all those things. So, and I find them very interesting. That's why I think I would like to specialize somewhat in cloud computing. Coming to parallel computing is all about how different computers can simultaneously work together to create a solution. So you have a huge problem, but it's so huge that just one computer or one core or one processor is not enough to actually solve a problem. So just a minute ago I was talking about data mining, because there are huge amounts of data which you want to process them. So you can use parallel computing to create an efficient computer, because you have, let's say, n number of computers working simultaneously on a certain set of data and processing that data and finally creating a solution out of it. So it deals a lot about caching problems and distributed algorithms, how the computer should interact with one another, multi-threading problems. I guess I'm getting too much into technicalities, but all those things will basically come under parallel computing. It's all about how parallel computers or processors can actually process and compute data. It's all about parallel computing. Most of the supercomputers are built through parallel computing, by the way. Did I answer your questions?
Okay, now this slide set I think is most awaited. They wanted to know about the universities. Students wanted to know about what universities you shortlisted and what admits you took up. So you can just be brief about what admits you got.
Sure. So as you can see, I got admits from Texas A&M University, Buffalo State University, University of Washington, Arizona, North Carolina State University. Some of them for CS, some of them for MIS. I'd also applied to University of California, Santa Cruz, and Stony Brook, which unfortunately rejected me. And so out of all these admits, I am going with North Carolina State University because it has one of the best faculties, an excellent coursework, and there is something called Research Triangle Park in the state of North Carolina, and this Research Triangle Park is like a mini Silicon Valley. So it's a research park where there are offices of giants like Microsoft, NetApp, EMC Corporation, Verizon, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, Intel, Lenovo, all those big companies. They have their offices and development centers in the Research Triangle Park. So we have some of the best job opportunities and internship opportunities at NCSU. And of course, the infrastructure is something really great at NCSU, which I don't think many other universities have. So I think if you're just interested in knowing what a university is like, you can just check out videos on YouTube and just find out how the life in a university is and what kind of facilities are provided, like the library, like something to play, the classrooms, and all those facilities. I talked about internship and placement. So all the top companies, including Google, Apple, and Facebook, they all come for recruitment at NCSU. So it's not just that because it's in North Carolina, the Californian companies will not come. No, that's not true. So they still recruit people from NCSU. And the other important factor is actually the weather in Raleigh. Raleigh is a city in North Carolina. That's where the university is situated, and the weather is very conducive. It's not too cold, not too hot. So although it's not a very important factor, but I guess one of the factors to consider when there's a tiebreaker.
Exactly, true that weather is also important. And Pranav, there are a couple of questions from some students. First question is, can you give some understanding on what ways cloud computing is different from normal computing? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Cloud computing is mainly to do with how your services or software can run on an internet.
Okay.
And how that particular software or service will be actually accessible from any device. Whereas regular applications, they can run on just one machine, but it's quite possible that it may not be scalable to a bigger audience. So how can I give you? Okay, consider as an example, you have a banking application. Now that banking application, it's a standalone application. It is being used mainly by the bank staff. For example, creating the accounts, opening accounts, and then doing some regular transactions and all those things. But compare that banking application is just standalone, and you don't want that to be available on the internet because it's not needed anyway, because it's more internal to the bank. Compare that with a cloud-related software like Dropbox or maybe your iCloud. So that is a completely different kind of service which you're providing. So it's more about what kind of service or software that is being provided to the end user. A classic example of cloud computing I think I can give you is about Microsoft Office 365, if you have heard about it. I guess that Office 365 runs on cloud, so you can access your mail, your Word and presentations and all those things directly through your web browser. Just like you have an Outlook as an application, a standalone application on your computer, you can access that same Outlook application through a web browser. And that's only possible because they are providing Outlook as a service to the end user. I hope I answered the question. Hello?
So, yeah, so Pranav, now let us discuss more in detail about this university shortlisting process and that detail. So how actually did you arrive at these universities? Because most of the students, they are also are interested in understanding how to arrive at a university list. Because it is pretty simple. If you actually arrive at optimal and right list of universities, you boost your admit chances.
Correct, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can just share some details on that.
Yeah, correct. So the key to university shortlisting is to understand yourself. You need to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. So the profile, first of all, study your profile. The profile consists of your GRE and TOEFL scores. It also consists of your past academics, like what you did in your college, your engineering days, and your extracurricular activities. So the academics will definitely play a big part because some universities, in case of tiebreaker, they definitely consider the GPA, which is nothing but an average score of what you have of all the 4 years of your percentage. The extracurricular activities they also look at, which are like if you are part of, let's say, a student council or some kind of committee like CSI or IEEE, the Computer Society of India and IEEE. I mean, what kind of a role you performed at such committees. The other most important part of your profile will be, apart from the academics, what kind of research papers or technical paper presentations did you do? So all those things together will make a profile, a big profile. I mean, I don't just think that they only look at your technical or academics. They also look at other extracurricular activities like sports, your arts, and all those things. If you have really performed uh, excellently in some of the sports or maybe arts like dancing, singing, if you have represented your college at, let's say, a state level or national level, then it really does add on to your profile. So study your profile well, and accordingly you can then short down the list. I mean, you can shortlist the universities. Um, Secondly, you need to understand what kind of courses are available at the university, and then you need to make an informed decision. So once you know that, okay, I need to, let's say, get into computer science, or maybe, okay, I need to get into computer networking as my specialization or whatever, because some of the universities do provide MS in a direct specialized field, like MS in computer networking, MS in data analytics. So really understand what those courses are and how they are. You can get a lot of information from online directly from their university websites also. You can get the reviews. You can ask your relatives, friends. You can ask absolutely anyone, and then make an informed decision to shortlist the universities. And then finally, you need to work really well on your SOP, which is statement of purpose. It should be about why you chose to do MS and how that particular university is going to help you. Will help you actually develop as a postgraduate student, and how that university is actually going to help you, not just as a student, but in the long run. And what after MS? That should also be clear in your mind, and all those should be neatly represented and covered in your SOP. And the letters of recommendation are also important. Get them from the professors who are relatively friendly, so that the professors don't actually screw your profile by giving a bad letter of recommendation. So just take care that you have to get letters of recommendation from your professor. So just keep them happy when you're in college.
True that.
Yeah.
Pranav, now let us discuss about the SOP part, which you actually made a mention of, and I've also seen students asking multiple questions like, what is good CGPA, how much CGPA should I maintain, so on. And there was one more question, which is, how much was Pranav's CGPA, because they're all curious to know about your ACADS. So briefly, if you can tell what are your ACADS like in class 10, 12 and your UG. It will be, it will give some understanding to the students, like what CGPAs they should maintain, or how it should be.
Correct. So if you're still in college, you definitely need to focus on CGPA. I mean, your overall performance in the academics, like your term work, your practicals, and of course theory, because CGPA does count. My CGPA was, I mean, in percentage terms, it was 75.04. I'm from Mumbai University, where you won't, I mean, even the topper will not score more than 80%. It's very difficult. I don't know about other universities, like maybe in South India, North India. I don't know how much the toppers score. So usually the CGPA or GPA is always in takes consideration of the toppers score. So apart from that, CGPA. Sorry, can you please repeat the question again? I just want to make sure I'm answering every part of it.
What was your class 10th and 12th percentages like? Even that was a question.
Okay. Okay. Class 10, I scored 91%, and class 12, 87.
87, is it?
cast was 87.
Oh,
87, yes,
87.
87.
Okay.
Very few universities, yeah, but very few universities will actually care about your 10th and 12th percentages. They care more about your undergraduation, that is engineering marks.
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense, Pranav. There's no point in gauging one's capabilities by looking back at 4 years or 5 years back. Uh, what you're doing at
Yes,
this moment,
that's right.
that has that should form basis to judge a person or judge a student per se. And one more interesting questions here are paper publications. Have you published any papers? That was a question from not one, from many.
No, yeah, okay. No, I did not publish any paper, but I regret that I did not do. So if you get an opportunity, please do that. I mean, to be honest, it does not take much of an effort. You can publish a paper very easily while you are in college, or even after college if you're working. I guess you can still work a little on your weekends and then publish any paper. It should not take more than two months, I guess. So shouldn't be very difficult. But yes, I regret I did not publish any paper. It does make a difference.
Okay, advice is coming from experience, huh? Good. Uh, and one more question, Pranav, here from Aditya, saying how important is an LOR from manager, and does it have same weightage with a professor's LOR? Anything that you want to say here?
Yes. So the manager's LOR does make a difference, but I don't think it will be rated any higher or lower than the professor's LOR. But if you're a working professional, then it is good to get an LOR from the office. I mean, your manager will be the right person to give your LOR, and I don't think there is any there is any kind of um, what do you say, differentiation, as in, okay, this LOR has come from a manager, this is from a professor. It doesn't really make difference. Um, I don't think so. But in some cases, if you can get a senior manager's LOR, I think it can make some difference, because when you see someone like a vice president or an executive director writing a letter of recommendation for you, it does make a little difference. But in all, I don't think between a manager's LOR and a professor's LOR, I don't think they differentiate that, because there are many students who get admitted directly fresh from the college. So then they don't have any experience. Of course, they won't get any LOR from their manager, just on the basis of the professor's LOR. So I don't think there is any difference.
Okay. Thanks for that detailed, Pranav. So now you can just tell like what after MS, what you want to do after MS. Now that you were able to, and now that you are getting into university, almost ready. So what you want to do after MS?
Okay. So after MS, I would still continue to work as an application developer for a few years,
Okay.
because that's where you actually, no, I guess application development is where you actually build your basics, and that's how you actually learn a lot, and then slowly and steadily move into a technical architect role. So technical architecture more deals with designing of a system, like how a particular system has to interact within itself and with other systems, and what are the pros and cons, what kind of technology to use, what kind of software design patterns or maybe problems that should be tackled. So I would like to get into more of an architect role later. So yeah, I think that's my plan as of
Okay.
now.
That was good, Pranav. So now, Pranav, now let us get into very serious discussion about your GRE preparation. You told me earlier that you did about close to 100 days preparation. That is right, right? Uh,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you
Yeah.
started in
Okay.
early June, and you almost completed it in September of last year. So
Yes, that's
which
right. Yeah.
actually brings me to very important question that how did you actually balance your work and your GRE preparation? I'm very sure the entire audience today are actually waiting for this
Yeah.
question, and that
Mm-hmm.
and your every point you make here, like how did you balance, will add a lot of value to other students. So
Right.
please discuss.
So sure, sure. Absolutely. I started preparing for GRE last year, sometime in June, probably first week of June or so. Right from March, April, I was just trying to get my head around the GRE and going back to studies because it was almost more than 1.5 years that I had not actually gone in study mode. So from March or April, I actually started reading a lot, and just I was getting back to the study mode, and just like memorizing some mathematics tables, going back to some basics like reading lots of articles, and then just improving general English because I knew that verbal would be an important factor because I guess most of the students will score excellent in quants, but the deciding factor can be verbal. So I was just building my base a little from March, April, and then I was actually also trying to figure out which coaching class to join, or maybe if at all a coaching class is required, and etc. And then that's where I actually came to know about GRE Edge sometime in May, and then I decided, okay, that's the best part because it's first of all online, and I had really heard good reviews about that. So because I'm a working professional, I actually did not want to go to a class and sit long hours and waste a lot of my time because I knew I could do it online also, and GRE Edge just gave me that platform. So I joined GRE Edge in June. That's when I actually um, started my preparation in full swing. Um, so how did I start preparing actually for GRE? So as the GRE Edge actually created a schedule basically, a schedule for which chapters to study for quants, which chapters to start studying for verbal. They created a perfect schedule. I told them, okay, I'll be taking GRE in September, and I want to finish everything by August end. So accordingly, they created a schedule for me, and schedule as in, okay, for the first 3-4 days you need to focus on this chapter, the next 3-4 days you need to focus on another chapter. But in the meanwhile, they also kept giving me a lot of assignments. So that's how my preparation actually took off really well, and it was actually a little difficult at the beginning because juggling work and studies, it is a little difficult, but then time management is very important. So I used to spend like 8 to 9 hours, 9 hours a day at least in the office, and since I live in Mumbai, uh, I spend 2 hours commuting to and from office. So you can consider like 13 hours of my, almost 12 to 13 hours of my day will be wasted in commuting. So I did not waste any time even during commuting because that was also important. I actually tried to improve my vocabulary while commuting, and that's where this WordBot app, it's an application developed by GREH. It's amazing because you can access it on your smartphone and or your tablet or anything. So while you're on the move, you can actually go through the WordBot app and learn those 2,000, 3,000 words which you need to prepare for GRE. And the best thing about that WordBot is that for every word, they have a very catchy image. So you just need to remember the image. You will immediately remember the meaning of the word. So I guess that helped me a lot. I guess no other, I mean, you might have seen flashcards which are available online, but they're more like, they're so verbose and verbose in the sense that they just give, they just mention the word and the meaning, I mean, the meaning against it. but if you see a mental image or something, then it really sticks in your mind. Okay, that this is so it really helped me, and and the second thing is I knew that I would be exhausted by the end of the day because after working in the office for 9 hours and then traveling, I knew I would be exhausted by the end of the day. So I made sure that I studied in the morning before going to the office, and that's when my mind was fresh, and that's how I actually focused on my studies really well. So if you want to really balance work and GRE preparation, I think time management and discipline will be the only two factors. So if you are dedicated and sincere, I guess it's very easy to crack. So just understand yourself, what kind of a person you are. You can, if you like mornings, then study in the morning. If you like nights, just study at night. But yeah, and also you need to take into consideration your work hours. So sometimes you might have like night shifts. Sometimes you might have a late evening shift or maybe early morning shift. So accordingly, you need to strike a balance. And sometimes you can also actually try to negotiate with your manager if it's possible to, if it's possible for you to give a convenient time or something. So it's just all about your priority. So if GRE is a priority, just give more importance to it. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions regarding this. Hello, Sunil?
Yeah, Pranav. So I was just telling what you said. We all have different study habits, and we have, our work nature. Every work nature is unique, and every study habit is unique. So understanding that early and planning around it and being very disciplined is what is important, right?
Correct, yeah. And one more suggestion that I'd like to give you is if you are getting back to studies after a long time, like after maybe a year or so, you might want to actually start brushing up your old concepts and maybe just get into a study mode. So just keep reading for like maybe half an hour, 1 hour, because you know when you are actually going to start studying, you will have to spend like 2-3 hours at least with books. So you might have lost touch, but if you can really brush up your concepts and maybe just get into that reading mode, that studying mode, I think that will help.
Okay. Okay, Pranav. Thank you. Thanks for that insights. Now let us discuss about your quant preparation. You told earlier that you have quite a bit interest in mathematics and you are good at maths. So just if you can elaborate to the audience like how you prepared for quants, that would be good.
Yeah, sure. I was an engineer. I'm still an engineer, sorry. And maths was my one of my strong areas. And so I knew I would crack quants really well. So I actually reinforced my strength by practicing really well in quants because quants is one section which I think most of the students will perform really well. So you don't want to actually perform bad at that and lose out of competition. So preparing quant is important. Practice loads and loads of practice. The GRE Edge notes helped me a lot. So the GRE Edge, so they provide concepts for every chapter, and they have lots of solved examples, and then of course there will be multiple assignments, 2-3 assignments with increasing level of difficulty on the same chapter. And also in quants, the GRE Edge actually it follows the adaptive examination pattern which GRE follows. So you can actually start taking up mock quant tests where there will be 20 questions and 35 minutes to answer. So those notes and those sessions really helped me. Apart from that, the SFAs, who are basically mentors or guides, they provide extra tips and tricks, and they provide special notes. And if you feel you need more practice, then they provide more materials. And I asked for more materials, and they were happy to provide them all the time. The other good thing that I always got was regular feedback. So they told me what I was good at, what I was not. So for example, I guess permutation combination is something which I struggle at. So they said that, okay, focus on this chapter more. You're good at, let's say, algebra or geometry, but then just focus on this. They gave more practice on that, and that's how actually results started improving. So always staying in touch with the SFA helped me a lot, because they keep tracking the performance at every level, even while you're actually going through the concepts, whatever doubts you ask, and also the assignments. That's really helpful.
Okay, Pranav, thanks for that. And a very quick question here. What were your scores like in mock tests? That was one of the question. What were your scores like? Yeah.
Sure. In mock tests, my scores were somewhere around 322, which I got, and on some days I scored more than 322. I guess that the highest I reached was 328 in my mock test, and the lowest I scored was somewhere in 315 or so. But on an average, it was around 322, and that's what I ended up with on the final day.
Okay. So Pranav, now let us move on to your verbal part. Many students, they are like little worried relatively when it comes to verbal preparation. So your suggestions and recommendations for cracking verbal part will be of lot of benefit.
Yeah, definitely. So for verbal, I mainly used again the GRE notes. So for verbal, they have notes as to how to actually get better at reading comprehension, how to actually get better at sentence equivalence. Now these are some of the sections in GRE. If you're not aware about it, but just relax. So basically, there are different types of sections in GRE in verbal. You have sentence equivalence, you have sentence completion, and reading comprehension. So they focus on each part, and they also provided me as to how to start thinking analytically to understand the reading comprehensions and answer them. Similarly, how to improve vocabulary, because improving vocabulary helps a lot in sentence equivalence and sentence completion. Because in sentence completion, you will be having really tough words which you will not come across in regular text or news media. So that's where the high frequency, the GRE words will actually help. So that word board application helped me a lot in my GRE verbal preparation. And of course, the reading comprehensions. The most important thing I would say is start reading standard English, and you will find standard English on most international news and articles like BBC, Economist, New York Times, Project Syndicate, and also get into the habit of reading core science, like pure science, like biology. You should also start reading about, let's say, zoology, botany, and paleontology. Because no, seriously, because the passages that you will come across will be from pure sciences, and some of them might be from politics, history, literature. There can be something about some critical reviews written about the movie. You can get passages on something similar to that. So you can start reading about them So I guess I can suggest you some other magazines, like you can go through Smithsonian, Scientific American, Nature, and then Down to Earth. So all those are, and some of them are really interesting. So you need to get into habit of reading pure science, arts, and language articles. For arts and language, I think you will find plenty on BBC. Just go to
Yeah.
bbc.co.uk and you will find plenty there.
Repository for all type of articles, right? The way they
Oh
maintain
yes,
sections
definitely.
is very impressive, Pranav. And Pranav, did you just say movie reviews in GRE exam?
Oh yes, yes,
Okay, did you
yes.
get one?
So some of the passages, no, but during practice test, sometimes I did. So sometimes they actually do give such
Okay, how?
funny and interesting
Yeah,
topics.
of course they are. And how did you do them? I mean, movie reviews, they are sounding interesting to me. How did you find them after clearing them? How did you score?
To be honest, because it's you don't expect that you will get a movie review like you see in Times of India or Hindustan Times or anything like that.
Get
It
it?
will be more like a critical analysis of a movie or let's say an artist. So how has the director or let's say any artist, for example, a painter, if he has drawn a painting, then the critical analysis will be more of the author or the painter, the artist who is actually doing that art. Don't worry, it sounds a little intimidating at the beginning, but once you start reading them, actually you'll really find it very interesting because I guess most of you will be from technical background. Probably most of
Yes.
you have done engineering, I guess. So it will be really fun to read all those things. I mean, it will be really fun. And I think one other important point I'd like to stress upon is focus on AWA, which is
Yes.
analytical writing. It is a separate section in GRE, and you can consider it as part of verbal, but it is always the starting section, and you need to write 2 essays. Oh, okay. So the next slide is anyway about AWA.
Yeah,
So
you can just continue.
since I was anyway talking about AWA, yeah, I'll continue. Okay. So for AWA preparation, you need to read a lot first of all, because only when you read a lot, you can actually start ideating. And by ideating, I mean you
Yeah.
will come up with ideas, and only then you will be able to elaborate and write in detail in the AWA section. So you need to write essays. Um, the vocabulary that you have improved will definitely help because you can use all those fancy words in your essay, but make sure you use them really well. And grammar is very, very important. So I think uh, once you start reading more and more standard text, pay attention to the grammar. So sometimes you might not realize that you might be making those mistakes. So even when you're speaking with your friends or your colleagues or your professor, just try to speak good English, and I think that will improve a lot. So for AWA, I would say read a lot and practice writing. Just keep on ideating. So pick up a topic and just think about it. Write down some points, and of course the GRE notes will have a lot of points like how to um, uh, structure your essay and how to come up with the points and things like that. So I guess AWA is something not to be taken lightly.
Yeah. Pranav, there's a question from Kirti Jaitley here. She's saying, how long should the essay actually be to get good marks? Is it the pure quantity or quality and quantity? And how would you, you know?
Sure. I think there is a limit, a word limit, I guess. I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. But I think there is a word limit. But if it's not, uh, quantity and quality do matter. But so both of them are really important.
Both of them
If
are.
you write really well, but if you write very little, yeah, Both of them are very important.
Yeah, because our popular notion is quality is more important than quality, the way we do at our colleges, but that is not the case with GRE. So I'm glad you said that. That's the reason why I asked you also. And the other day I was speaking with some GRE representatives. They were telling me why AW is actually important, because that gives a sense of how we think. Am I right, to the universities? Rather than pure reasoning skills, our thinking skills are very much tested here. Am I right?
Correct, correct.
And
Yeah, actually, I just
yeah,
remembered, or maybe I guess, so sorry, I'll just complete this. When you go through the topic of your essay,
yeah,
you'll actually realize that there will be sufficient number of points to write about. So you need to cover those points to
okay,
meet that quantity criteria. But yeah, but you need to focus definitely on quality as well as quantity, because I'm sure if you miss it, someone else will definitely pick up, because in one section of an analytical writing, you will be given a passage.
yeah,
And in that passage, you need to identify the points
yeah,
on which you have to write. So the number of points will actually give you the quantity of the essay. So it's not difficult, but don't neglect it, because some universities will definitely consider AWS scores for admission decisions, especially when there is a tiebreaker. And I think there will be, because there are so many students who have the same score, similar profile. I think this is one differentiating factor for them.
yeah. And Pranav, there are some questions, asking to or asking about, I would say rather, about your TOEFL preparation. Any tips or suggestions or anything that you can say to an aspiring TOEFL writer? What would they be? You can just share it.
Sure, sure. If you prepare well for GRE, TOEFL will be really easy. I say that because most of the sections in TOEFL are very similar to GRE, because again in TOEFL you will have reading comprehension, you will again have essay writing, and you will also have speaking and reading skills. But they again, you would develop those skills through the preparation for GRE. So for TOEFL, I just followed the ETS preparation. It's available online for free. Once you register for TOEFL exam, you will get 2 mock exams for preparation,
Yeah,
and I
art.
think
Yeah.
even online, yeah, you can just find anything online. And I prepared TOEFL in just 1 week. It was sufficient. But if you feel your English is a little weak, if you feel you're a little poor at speaking skill or maybe listening skills, then just keep practicing, keep talking in English with more and more people. I
Okay,
think that's
thanks for that
the way to improve.
insight, Pranav. And there's an interesting question from Ravina here. Ravina says, Pranav, have you ever come across a topic which you haven't actually touched before in your GRE exam, say mock test or the real test, and how did you actually manage that? Brand new topic.
Um, Brand new topic? I
But
don't
there
think
is,
so.
okay,
Because
yeah, Pranav.
topic in what sense? You mean?
Okay, I think she might
Um,
actually mean like a subject which you are very much familiar. You're talking about biology, zoology, and astrophysics, so on and so forth. Any unrelated topic
okay, okay,
like
okay.
Chinese
So
literature.
for reading comprehension, okay,
Yeah.
okay. You might, I mean, you might find a topic which is completely unrelated to you, but all the answers will be there in the comprehension itself, in the passage itself. I mean, they don't test anything out of the ordinary. I mean, even if you might get a passage on arts or literature, but because you are a science major, that doesn't mean that you should not study about art. You need not know anything about arts or literature, but all the answers will be available in the passage. I mean, because GRE is for everyone. It's not just for science graduates or arts graduates. It's absolutely for anyone and everyone. So I don't think, I mean, even if the topic is unfamiliar to you, you will find all the answers in the passage. And that's why I said, I mean, try to get into a habit of reading more about arts, literature, pure sciences, so that you will at least get accustomed to the text. Yeah, I think that will be helpful if you are really worried about it, but no need to worry. Yeah.
Okay, Pranav. So, Pranav, can you give a small narrative of how your GRE exam experience was on the day of exam and in the exam hall?
Uh,
Any interesting narrative you
yeah,
have
sure.
that you can share?
Yeah, actually. So my GRE exam was in the morning, and I just woke up and I was excited. I did not study. I was not studying till the last moment, and I suggest you too should not do that. Just relax and stay focused till you reach your exam center, until you are seated, and even of course during the exam. So the experience, the first thing they ask you to is to fill up a form. They will ask for your hall ticket and all those things, and the passport. They'll check your passport. They'll take some biometrics. They will in some at some centers I heard they actually frisk you to check that whether you are not carrying any weapon or something. That was really funny, but I've heard that kind of an experience also. But don't worry, it's yeah, yeah. Um, and in the exam hall, I would suggest you to carry an extra piece of clothing because it will be really cool. Because for the computers to run, they turn on the AC really high. So I would suggest you to keep an extra pair of clothing, like maybe a sweatshirt or an extra shirt on top or a jacket or something. If you feel hot, just remove it. But then, if you feel cold, you should not be actually uncomfortable while writing the exam. So overall, the GRE exam will be highly systematic, and the um, the instructors there will be really helpful, and because the ETS takes care of all that. You have also paid so much of money, right, for the GRE
Yeah,
exam, so
$195.
they can actually sponsor all those. Yeah, so they can actually provide all those facilities really well.
Okay. A quick note on the role of your SFS in your preparation. Uh, anything that you can share?
Right. The SFAs, they provide more like a guiding role. They will not spoon feed you, and I think that's the best thing that can happen, because if you're not spoon fed, you will be actually forced to work by yourself. But they will always be there to guide you, and I got a very good guidance. So I used to get back to the professors every time after completing a test or an assignment, and they used to give me useful feedback, like where I went wrong, why I went wrong, and how I can improve on those things. So earlier I gave an example of permutation combination. So that was my uh, what you can say, a weak point. But then they provided more practice, and then they also asked me how to actually improve upon the existing preparation. Um, Most importantly, they were very promptly responsive. So if I asked them to call me at, let's say, 4 o'clock in the evening, whenever, or maybe at night after 9, because I was only then I would have been free. So they promptly called me at that time, just so that we could discuss and get uh, more from the guide. So yeah, so in all, the SFAs played a big role in my preparation, and I'm very thankful to them.
So that were that were very warm points, Pranav. And Pranav, your SFS are also listening to this. So any message you want to give to your SFS?
Okay. Hi. I guess I won't take the names, and both the SFAs. It was really nice actually to be a mentee, and you guys have given me a good guidance, and of course that 322 score. It could not have been possible if you guys weren't there. And I wish you all the best in all the future endeavors, and stay in touch.
Uh, those points were nice, Pranav, really. And so Pranav, now let us be a bit more general. I think this is what everybody are asking, be generic and be generic. In general, what are some tips you wanted to share, with upcoming GRE aspirants about the exam, about
Okay,
the preparation, and in short, everything about GRE? What tips you as a person would tell others?
correct. I think the general perception among most of the students is that GRE is very easy, ho
Yeah,
jayega and whatever, and that kind of an attitude. But yes,
well done.
it is easy, but if you want to score really well, do not underestimate it. Because if you want to score well, there is a lot of competition, and GRE is a highly systematic exam. When I mean systematic, it means that there will be some really good questions because it is an adaptive exam, and your level of difficulty will keep increasing if you keep doing well in the exam. So just bear in mind that it is a simple exam, but uh, don't take it lightly. And GRE, you can easily crack it if you are very well disciplined, study hard, and practice loads. And yeah, most importantly, do not get into speculations and rumors, because I think many students do that. And even during my exam days, there used to be a lot of rumors like, oh, we got some very difficult topic for essays or something like that. So be prepared for everything, but at the same time, just have faith in yourself and keep calm. So don't worry about what others are actually telling you. Just stick to the discipline, stick to what the guide is telling you, and do not lose hope. That's it.
Okay, those points were very insightful, Pranav. When you said GRE is a systematic exam and respect it, you are more trying to say realize the gravity of it and plan it accordingly. The way I see many things, most of us are having experience of giving IIT JEE, AIEEE, whatnot, many competitive exams at the state and the center level. So there is some kind of baggage we carry. Okay, competitive exams, मेरे को मालूम है कैसे they work. So some kind
Yeah,
of light yellow attitude, I would say. So that can misfire at times
yeah,
when you're not very well prepared.
yes,
GRE is altogether in
absolutely.
a different league. You are tested not at very center level. You're tested what worldwide. People from Australia, Canada,
Yeah,
Singapore give GRE exam. So the qualities and the level of testing will be at one notch above. So we need to be prepared. So speaking of this preparation of for GRE exam, some students who have very few days for GRE exam, they tend to break down to pressure and and nervousness. You can call whatever it is, but they tend to break down because of this exam fear. So what
yeah,
suggestions would you give for someone whose GRE exam is like say few days away? You have been
sure.
there and done that,
Um,
so techniques for that will do good. What have you done?
yeah, so sure. So when your GRE is just a few days away, you need to be more calm and focused. And you might find that I'm kidding, but I'm not. Yoga and meditation will really help you a lot. You might find me that I'm giving sermons right now, but no, yoga and meditation will really help you. And just try it once. Just sit for 5 minutes and just close your eyes and work on the breathing techniques. It really will actually calm you down. It will get all your thoughts in focus, and like so your train of thought will be more focused and undisturbed, I would say. And that really makes a lot of difference, because GRE, you will not have much time. I mean, you don't have much time to think about, so you need to make some quick decisions, quick calculations, and quick analysis, and all that will really help. Do some exercise. That will really help you perform really well, because that's how your brain functions. I'm not making this up, but this is all scientifically proven. Most importantly, keep enjoying your hobbies, like listen to music, or if you like playing, then just go out and play, take a walk, and just relax that way. So whatever you feel makes you relax, just do that. Do that. I mean, if you feel doing nothing relaxes you, then do nothing for some time. So yeah, all those things will really make a difference.
No, Pranav. Speaking about yoga and meditation doesn't make you a old school person. Uh, they will make you way above normal persons actually. You don't become old fashioned, you become special now if you say I'm practicing yoga and meditation, because I think we are way
Yeah,
past that. People thinking yoga and meditation are old school. No, people are
yeah.
understanding what is importance of that, but not many people
Mm-hmm.
can do that, because you said multiple number of times that discipline is very important. So you basically need discipline and that calm goingness to practice them. I'm sure with your advice, many students will definitely get into that mode, and I'm not sure they will do it or not, but at least they will attempt to do it. Doing yoga and meditation
Yeah.
is not a day work. It's has to be on regular basis, right? So let's hope for the best. And
Yeah.
there's an interesting question from Pavitra here. She says, how many hours did you actually sleep during your preparation days?
Oh, I slept easily more than 8 hours. 8 hours of sleep. That's the minimum I require anyway every day. So I did not compromise on that at all.
Okay, 8 hours of healthy
So,
sleep. I'm sorry, Pavitra, if you're
yes.
expecting some 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Mr. Pranav might have disappointed you, but Pranav
No,
is saying,
actually,
yeah,
Sunil, sorry,
yeah,
I just have one word for her. I mean, uh, don't lose on sleep. It will really actually mess up with your preparation on the day of exam. So it will actually affect your performance more. You need to get the right sleep, only then you will be more relaxed. So
yeah.
that's it.
So sleep is important and respect sleep. That's what you are saying again, right? So thanks for that point also, Pranav. So Pranav, I think this is pretty much all about this session. Uh, how would you explain about your experience with GREH? How was it on overall?
Yeah, so overall the GREH was really helpful. It was great experience. The reason I actually chose GREH is that it is an online platform, and I could access it from anywhere and everywhere. So the platform works really well. I never faced any problems with the applications. With the GRE Edge as an
Yeah.
application. The SFAs were very helpful, and they guided me really well. They provided a lot of materials to practice, and the best thing is about the feedback. And the SFAs have a one-to-one interaction with the students. So it's like the student-teacher ratio is 1:1, and I don't think we will get that in any classroom or such. Um, and the other GRE Edge, of course, I also joined the Dream University application procedure so that my application procedure becomes smooth, and I think they have helped me a lot. They helped me actually create my SOP, as in they structured the SOP well, provided a lot of points and how to get the LORs, the filling out the application forms is a huge task, and I think they have helped me really well. I think it's one of the very few counseling programs where they will actually fill the application forms for a few universities by themselves, and you can just imitate them. But of course, before submitting any application, you can just go back to them, get their feedback, and only when they have reviewed it, then you can submit it. And even after getting the admits, they have been very helpful in shortlisting the university admits and with the visa application and everything. So it's going really well, and hopefully by May end I should have my visa.
Yeah, you will, Pranav. All the best on that note. And Pranav, there are quick messages from your SFAs here, from both the verbal and quant SFAs. Uh, so I'm just telling it to you, sharing it to you and others. Here is a message from your verbal SFA. Your verbal SFA told many things about you. I somehow, condensed them and, kept them in one slide. He was talking about your regularity in preparations and your consistent, in performance part. And he also believes you are a self-motivated learner who only requires guidance. It is true that earlier also you were mentioning about the very importance of guidance, rather than, being spoon-fed, which can make you more better person while appearing for the exam. And he also acknowledged that you are only very few students who completed and remembered the complete 11 word list, and also 90% of the prep. So whatever you do, 1 year down the line or 5 years down the line, he always wants to wish you all the best for achieving more milestones. And
Thank you very
there's
much.
also a message from your Quant SFA. Your Quant SFA was more straightforward person. Okay, so she kept it very crisp. You're a good student and regular, and the thing about your verbal Quant SFA tried to what Quant SFA told me was you completed all the lessons. That is because of the regularity, in fact. So she also wishes you all the best for your career. So thank you, Pranav. Thank you very much for
Thanks.
opting GREH and doing your preparations. And this is not just the message from SFS. This is my message also personally. 1 year down the line, 5 years down the line, whatever goals you set, we, and everybody at GREH wish you would reach them. So now we shall have a small question answer session.
Sure.
I will request students to ask any questions and you can just answer them. There is already a question here. Did you get any scholarship, and are you planning to apply to any scholarship? What is that about that? Anything you want to say there?
Right. I applied for most of the scholarships provided by the university, but I did not get any scholarship. I think that's the most straightforward answer I can give you.
Yeah.
I did not get any research assistantship or teaching assistantship either. I applied for them, but no, I did not get them.
Okay,
but don't worry about scholarships so much. Okay, for research assistantship and TA, RA and TA, you can find them from your second semester.
Exactly.
Once you go to the university.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the scholarship so much. You should definitely apply in time to at least get considered for the scholarship, because most of the universities will have an early deadline for scholarship to be considered for scholarship. So don't miss out on that deadline. At least apply. Keep your SOP and your profile great. And I think many students do get RAs, TAs, and any kind of scholarship, or maybe fee waiver or whatever. So
yeah, I was also mentioning that, Pranav. There is always second, third, and fourth semesters, so there is no point in getting skeptical about scholarships much earlier. So even that will actually motivate others. There's an interesting question from Nandita that why didn't you opt for Carnegie Mellon for your MIS program? Anything you want to say about that? Why not CMU for MIS?
Okay. First of all, I was actually late to apply to CMU. I realized it a little late that I should apply for CMU, and I did not get the letters of recommendation on time. That's because I had lost some touch with the professors, because it was already 2 years and 2 years since I passed from the college. It was a little difficult to get the LORs on time, and CMU I could not apply because of the tight deadlines it had.
Okay, right. So you also brought up an interesting point. When you say tight deadlines, it should give a clarity to students that if you are aspiring to the likes of CMU, starting much early and being there in time and on time are important. Am I right?
Yeah. So I think many of the universities, especially for MIS, some of them have early deadlines, especially for um, to be considered for scholarship. Uh, if you are a working professional and if you have lost touch with the professors, uh, consider taking GRE a little early so that you will have some sufficient time to actually prepare your SOP, get LORs, especially getting the transcripts. That itself is a huge task. So getting the transcripts depends actually, because most of the colleges in Mumbai University really take a long time to give the transcripts. I guess all the students from Mumbai University will know that. So we'll plan everything accordingly and keep some time, of course, for your TOEFL also.
One important point I want to make here is Dream Universities program is exclusively for those who actually register for our GRE training programs. And there's also a question from Ritika Singh and Mahesh Kumar. The first question is what is the tuition fee of North Carolina State University for computer science program? How much is it going to cost approximately?
Sure. The cost is, the tuition fee is $40,000 for 2 years, and so that will come around 26-27 lakhs, I guess. Yeah. So NCSU is, I guess, one of the cheaper universities as compared to others. It's not very expensive. Even the living expenses are not very high.
Okay, thank you, Pranav. Guys, you may continue to ask the questions to Pranav. He will be answering them. But before that, a quick question from my side. Those who are interested, about this GRE program, you can just answer this poll. Okay. And one more question from Nandita. State University or main university? Which one would you recommend? I don't think she means main university. I think she means private university.
Okay. There are some excellent state universities and some excellent private universities. Um, it's actually, it depends on your coursework actually. Which universities courses do you like more? And similarly, the reputation of a particular university. I guess there are some really great private universities which are highly ranked, and similarly there are some really great state universities which are highly ranked. So, and while choosing your university, you can definitely look at factors like the course, faculty, internship, and job opportunities. So you can look at all those 4-5 factors.
Okay. Thanks for that, Pranav. And there's also a question from Mansi. How should one develop his profile apart from GRE and GRE TOEFL scores and CGPA? Anything that you can tell her here?
Sorry, apart from CGPA, can you please repeat the question? Hello? Hello, Sunil?
Yeah, Pranav. This is a question from Mansi. She says, tips for developing profile.
Okay, yeah, tips for developing profile. Okay. For profile development, if you are still in college, I think you need to first of all focus on your academics, get your CGPA good. Secondly, you can do some certification courses like SCJP, CCNA, or some similar certifications. You can also do research paper and technical paper presentations. Apart from that, extracurricular activities like you can get into some student committees. You can play a sport or perform some art if you are really good at it, and then just try to be an all-round person, I guess. Yeah, that would be really helpful. But focus more, of course, on your technical abilities, and if you feel you can also excel at something else, then uh, please showcase it on your SOP and build your profile that way.
Okay, and there's also a question from Nandita. For MIS, what extra courses would you recommend for helping in admission process?
For MIS, as in, okay. To be honest, I don't know what kind of certain certifications will help just for MIS as such. To be honest, I really don't know how to answer that question. But maybe Sunil can answer that because he has some experience. No? Or give me your email ID. I'll just find out and I'll reply to it.
Sure.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll be
Yeah.
able to do that, and you can reach out and help. Okay, she's quick to share that.
Sure,
I will send it across to you, Pranav. And there's also a question from Mahesh Kumar. He's saying, any idea about MS in software engineering? You have any understanding about that program, MS in software engineering?
Yeah, to some extent, yes. Software engineering, I think one of the best courses of software engineering is at SJSU, which is San Jose State University.
Yeah.
I think most of the students go there just to pursue software engineering. That's how I actually came to know about it. It's more about the software development. It does not focus more into the computer architecture and technicalities much. Focuses more on the software development and the SDLC part, if you know what SDLC, software development lifecycle. So it's more to do with the software and not just hardware.
Yes, Ram. This is the same program.
I don't know which universities have the best software engineering courses.
Yeah. San Jose State University is a good one, like you mentioned. And just answering Ram's question, yeah, the program poll which I launched is the same program Mr. Pranav has joined. Okay.
Yes,
there's a question from Ashish Kumar saying that how did you include your work experience in SOP? What aspects are more important? Like you might be doing n number of things at your workplace. How would you actually prioritize on what aspects are important in your SOP? Pranav, you can answer that.
Right. Sure. So you need to, you can actually mention in the SOP how your job has improved your profile and how it has made you as a more informed person. And if you feel that your current job profile is not what you would like to continue in, then you can also you can also mention in SOP how that has made you realize what your core interests are and how you would like to pursue them. For example, if you are in software development and let's say you're particularly working in Java, or if you're developing a particular application, then you can see how that process of developing, how by doing all the coding and the analysis job has actually helped you make a better decision in providing good solutions to the client or something like that. So you might not want to actually talk more about the projects that you have worked on in your SOP, because that's where your resume is supposed to talk. Your resume is supposed to highlight what all projects you have worked on, some of your key projects. You don't want to mention all of them in your SOP.
Yeah.
Statement of purpose, as I said, should be very clear, and it should be about why you want to do MS. It shouldn't brag about your projects that you have done. But you can definitely mention, and you should, as to how your work experience has helped you in developing as a student and in developing as a technologist.
Yeah. And Pranav, there is also questions about PAR Prep exam, ETS PAR Prep. Have you taken one? That's a question. And what are your marks like to your real GRE exam, if you have taken?
Uh, yes, I did. There are two mock tests provided by
Yes,
PowerPrep, and
PAR Prep test. Yes.
in one test I scored, in one test I scored 322, and in the other I guess 324 or something.
Okay, so they are very similar. So plus or minus 2
Yeah,
marks,
very
you're saying.
similar. Yeah, plus or minus 2. Yeah.
Okay. And there are questions about database management systems, MS. Any idea you have on database management systems, universities related and careers?
Not specific to database management system, but I know something related to data science though, and I think University of Southern California has a very good course on data science. Even NCSU has a pretty good course on data science. So what NCSU does is you need to pick up the right data science courses, and at the end of MS you get a specialization in data science. To be honest, I don't think just specializing in DBMS or DBMS is something which a university is famous about. I think universities will focus more on data science rather than DBMS as a separate field.
This is an important question again, Pranav. Anuja wants to know about your experience with Dream University program. In short, question asked by Anuja.
Sure. So in the Dream University program, the counselor actually helped me shortlist the universities I need to apply to.
Yes, shortlisting.
First of
Yes.
all, they studied my profile. Yeah, the counselor first of all studied my profile. I gave them all the details like my past educational background, what all I did in college, the extracurricular activities, any certificates, medals, etc., any certifications, whatever. And depending on that profile, they suggested me to apply to certain universities. And I think it's the best to apply to various, some 3 categories of universities like ambitious, moderate, and safe. The counselor also helped me create my SOP. I
Yes,
provided all the
SOP
content,
creation.
but they were the ones, yeah, the counselors were they gave a structure to the SOP and how SOP has to be
Yes.
edited. So I guess I got my SOP edited more than 20, 30 times, but it was really kind and patient of them to actually help me do that. Um, Secondly, with the application process itself, so filling out the application forms, some of
Forms.
the questions were really confusing, and they helped me how to answer them. As in, with regards to, let's say, financial responsibility and all those things, scholarship and SOP. In some universities require resume also, apart from your SOP. I think most
Yeah.
of them require a resume. So they also helped me create one. And then, so even after getting my admits, they have been in constant touch with me. They are guiding me through the post-admit process, like preparing the bank statements, preparing for the visa application, the visa interview, how to actually fill out the visa application forms, the visa interview. They will conduct a mock interview very soon, I guess.
Okay, sure. Good to know that.
So
Uh,
actually, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sure, go ahead.
students, I am just going to close the poll. So if you want to know more about this Dream University program, you can just answer this poll. And there's also a question about financing, like the questions are of this nature. I am trying to general them. Did you apply for any bank loan, and any suggestions about financing, like what would be a better way of financing?
Sure. So there are broadly two ways of financing: self-financing or either taking a loan. So self-financing, you can use your own funds, your mom, dad, your relative, friend, uncle, whoever you can show as a sponsor. Second is of course an educational loan. You can easily get an educational loan from many banks and some non-banking financial institutions
Yes.
like Credila and yeah. Um, the nationalized banks also provide educational loans at some very good interest rates, so you can just find out more about them. Like you can go to SBI, Canara Bank, Punjab National Bank, or even to some extent the cooperative banks. I guess they do provide educational loans, and of course you can go to any non-banking financial institution also. And I personally haven't taken a loan.
Thanks for that detail, Pranav. So, students, we are going to end the session. So, anybody who wanted to ask questions, we can be quick and post your questions. Yeah, Aditya has a question here. Aditya has a question. I'll take this up. He wants to know this. Apart from regular project, what else could be done to improve the profile? He wants to understand those activities which can communicate to the university, our interest towards the core field.
Right. I think the most emphatic thing you can do is research paper publication.
Yes.
Research publication in your core field. If you are, let's say, from a computer science background, do something, uh, publish some research paper or maybe a technical paper somewhere. I think your professors will help you do that. Will help you do that.
Very well
Um,
said.
so if you do it in your core field, it will definitely help you a lot. You can also do some certifications like as I said, SCJP, CCNA, or even Linux Red Hat uh, certification. There are so many of them. You can do those. They will help you in
Yes,
building
Pranav.
a good profile.
Even I am always vocal about that. Interacting more with professors can do a lot of goods. And this question is from Ravina. Um she wants to know, how does one improve resume while working? I'm very sure while working we might not have that liberty to discuss with professors or spend a lot of long hours. So how could you, what suggestions would you give for working professionals?
Sure. Uh, for working professionals, I mean, this is, I guess, a general thing for all the resumes. So on a resume, you should always showcase something which can be quantified or which can show some importance. So by quantification, I mean how can you show that you have improved something? For example, if you're let's say if you're working at some company, then you can say how you have, let's say, saved some money for the company, or how you have helped make the business, or maybe how you have helped expand the
Yes.
business because of something which you did. So I think those are some things which you can highlight on your resume. For example, if you have worked on a software which actually improves the efficiency of if it reduces the manual workload, then you can clearly mention that, oh, it saves like 8 hours, 10 hours per week manual effort for the developers, testers, whatever. So, so whatever work you do, ask your manager or your peers as to how it is impacting the business and how it is actually improving them, and try to quantify it in your resume. I think that makes a lot of difference.
Pranav, that was very good point when you said quantify, because admissions council, they want to look at it. When you say I saved money, how much, right? So that quantifying is very important. I did awesome work is not necessary. What is that work? And if that can translate to numbers, that will do good, right? And Pranav, there's a last question
Yes.
from Mudita. She wants to know some good universities for machine learning and big data. She is looking for PhD. If you have some detail on that, you can share it.
Yeah, I've for big data, which is part of data science, as I
Yes.
mentioned,
Yes.
USC is one of the top universities, University of Southern California. If you are interested in PhD, I think University of Utah is really good for research because you want to do PhD. I think Purdue University also has some great courses in that field, uh, machine learning and big data. Um, you can of course go to Stanford, MIT, and all those top Ivy League universities. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. So start building a profile which matches that
Yeah,
university.
true that. Thanks for that insights, Pranav. And the very last question for tonight is from Aditya. He wants to know, is it possible to take up extra credits and complete MS within a year or year and a half? Is it real? Is it possible practically? You have it?
Um, sure. So most of the universities actually have a restriction as to how many credits we can take per semester, and I
Okay.
think most of the universities will have only 4. So you can, and many of them will require you to take 10 courses to complete your MS. So I think the earliest you can finish is in 1.5 years. I have never come across anyone who has completed his MS in 1 year.
Yeah.
But as I said, most of the universities have a restriction on the number of courses that you can take. And right now, I don't think you should worry about the number of courses that you should be taking. Um, to be honest, I guess 3 and in some cases 4 is good enough. Actually, one really interesting thing that I've just realized, I mean, this is
Yeah.
something I came to know from one of my seniors. So most of the students actually get internship after the second year, right? So
Yeah.
by then they would have usually completed six courses. I mean, that's the general trend I'm seeing. So once you get into internship, and if you manage to convert that internship into a full-time employment opportunity, right after your first year, you you usually need to take just 4 more courses to finish your MS. So you can take 4 more courses in the third semester and finish your MS in 1.5 years. But if you are not given a full-time opportunity, let's say after the first year, then you might want to sit for the placement drives again. And usually the placement drives happen in the third semester and fourth semester. So you would actually like to stick around till fourth semester just in case that you do not get a full-time opportunity. So that way you can actually consider 2 courses in third semester and 2 courses in fourth semester, and that's how in the meanwhile you can also focus on your placements. So I think that's a really great advice I got from one of my seniors.
Yeah.
Just passing it on.
Rightly said, Pranav. And sometimes if taken credits too many haphazardly, that might actually affect your preparation also. Preparation is important, right? All right, Pranav, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing a lot of insights and experience.
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you to all the students for
Hello.
being patient. and while asking questions and while getting answers. I really wish you all, those who are ready to start your GRE prep, I wish all the best for your GRE prep and for your MS plans. And those who have started GRE prep, I really wish all the best for your GRE exams and your MS plans. Like Pranav said over and over, I'm just telling it again, keep calm and keep hope. I think every third or fourth conversation Pranav uses either of the words, hope or calm. So I really wish you take it seriously and keep it and going forward. And happy learning with GREH. With GREH, we will ensure you will have the hope. And if you keep the calmness going, you are there without any doubts. Okay. And I would also request Pranav to just say last word, and then we can end the session. Pranav, anything that you
Yeah,
want to say
definitely.
to us, students?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank GREH and Sunil and all the SFAs for having me here. It was a pleasure talking to all of you, and all the best for your GRE and your future MS program. Just relax and just take GRE seriously and just enjoy the process. So if you have any questions, you can email them to me. I think Sunil will be kind enough to share the email ID, so you can get back to me if you have any questions. And thank you all. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Pranav. So just a moment, I will. Yeah. All right. I'm just. Yeah. Since Pranav told it's fine to share the email address, I'm just sharing his email address. So if you have any questions with regards to your career and MS, you may ask him. My request personally would be, this is not coming from Mr. Pranav himself, be resourceful and be very brief, because he might not check his mails very often. So whenever he checks, if you want to get very right answers, it is important that you're asking right questions. Okay. So Babina, I just shared the email address. So any specific queries, you can reach him. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. And once again, all the very, very best for your career and MS plans. Happy learning with GREH and all the best. Good night. Good night, Pranav. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you all. Good night. Good night. Yeah. Thanks, Sunil. Thank you. Bye.